West Virginia basketball making some waves in the portal as two of the best guards in America have West Virginia in their top six. I'm pretty impressed.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia. Talking a little basketball today. I'm excited about it, y'all. How about that? So let's get into this, guys. On today's episode, Elite Guards has West Virginia in their top six. Rich Rod and Rim Baker were in court today to discuss some NIL stuff with some House bills and with the Senate committee. And I'll tell you what, it's going to have some major ramifications for West Virginia sports in general. And I've got a breakdown that I spent a couple hours on today researching this, exactly what it means. It's a little bit, it's hard to understand. I mean, you try to read legal jargon. It's not easy to do. I should have my friend Travis Kenobi to come on. He definitely knows his stuff, and he's covered West Virginia in the past. He used to have a show. I don't know if you guys remember him or not. Good dude. And so, yeah, it's going to be a fun episode. But let's start with basketball. And as I share my screen with you, before we get into that, I've spoken to two, and I posted this on X earlier. I've spoken to two agents, one representing one of the players tonight, and one representing a player that left West Virginia. And what they told me was, listen, somebody's giving Ross Hodge and company a push because they have as much, if not more, than they did last year to spend, which was, it varies. Most people think right around $2 million, I think, last year, but not sure, with Darren DeVries and company. So they're getting a push, and I think they're going to be able to bring in a couple of good players. If they land these two guys here, I don't know if they're just getting for both because they're very similar, but either one is, well, I'll just let you see because they both super impressive players. Let's share screen. Let's talk about, I'll give you the most underrated one first, but I wouldn't even say he's the worst of the two, which is saying something since one of these guys led the entire country in 3-point shots made. A really high percentage, and just an overall really impressive player. But this guy here, Lincoln Memorial Defensive 2 transfer Wes Enos, had Zoom calls with these schools and then zeroed in on the schools his agent told the portal report. West Virginia, DePaul, South Florida, NC State, Iowa, and Minnesota. But his initial list, y'all, I mean, it's insanity. Who offered this kid? Ohio State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, Florida, Washington, Virginia Tech, Creighton, St. Louis, Xavier, Davidson, Cincinnati, Mississippi State, Charleston, Drake, Arkansas State, Dayton, Loyola, Mary State, Georgetown, Rhode Island, George Mason, Furman, Toledo, Liberty, and more. 75 programs overall. And I'm going to let you see some highlights of this kid because he is an elite player, truly an elite player, and we would be very lucky to get him. I want you to get excited that we're in his top six because you should be excited. Not only is he an elite offensive player, he won the Defensive Player of the Year award in Division II. This is a player that would come in right away, fit into Ross Hodge's system, and play that at and right role last year, who averaged right around 15 a game for them last year at North Texas. This is a guy that would come in and I think be a Big 12 guard right off the bat, and we have to push for him because I think he's gaining steam as we go. As you can see, he's cut his list down. But, man, I mean, he had Ohio State, Florida State, everybody reaching for him. And you see this little clips, you'll understand why here in just a second. This kid can absolutely stroke it. He's an absolute ball hawk on the other side of the ball on defense. And he just truly makes a ton of plays, guys. He averaged 20 points a game in 2024. He was the SAC Player of the Year, shot 41% from three, stretches defense, and he says here fits McCollum's perimeter style, scoring versatility, and tenacity, and he does. Now let's watch a couple of these clips here of him. As I studied film on him today, I began to realize, oh, God, I got to have him. I'm so excited about this player. I can't even put into words how excited I would be if we were to land him as my phone continues to go off. It's always me. I'm the problem. It's me. So who's messaging me so I can be mad at them afterwards? Of course, it's the Locked On guys. Of course, the group chat we're in that just never stops. It's like when I go live, they start talking. All right, let's roll. So he is a lefty, and this is him right here catching the ball and shooting it. So he's got a beautiful stroke, and he does way more than just this. As you can see, though, an absolute gorgeous stroke, and he can pull it from way, way deep. And I don't know if it's going to show more than that's just a 12-second clip. So those are a couple of shots that you saw of him there. Let's see. I saw another one on here. I thought, here it is. So here he is playing some defense. This is him playing on ball defense on the guard here, and you'll see just what makes him such a good defensive player. So he zeroes in on that crossover. He attacks the hand with see how when he crosses him over, he attacks that inside leg, gets a steal right here at the midcourt line, and is off to the races for a dunk. And he obviously he's the defensive player of the year for a reason, but he can do more than just that. That's what Javon Small did all year last year for us, guys. This move right here. He's in the corner. He does this dribble, step back shot. It's beautiful. Beautiful. And one. So anyways, and then I'll just let you guys see. He makes a couple other good plays here. That's him on defense. Here's him in the open court, splitting two defenders and finishing at the rim. And sure, this is against lesser talent, but there are some guys that that's obviously a little bit higher. He's better than D2, right? You can just tell. You can tell, like, look at these shots that he's making. And there are, I use him as an example a lot, and I know, but he's not the only person. He's just the best that I know of, and there's probably a couple more, but Marquise Noel, obviously, a couple years ago led Kansas State all the way close, almost to the Final Four, or maybe they made the Final Four. It was either Elite Eight or the Final Four as a defensive two player or a Division II player. And there's a reason 75 programs have reached out to this kid. West Virginia in his top 6, guys. We have to land him. God, let's sweat it in. And I told you guys I've been talking to certain people behind the scenes. West Virginia's got a shot here, but they're going to have to outbid for him. And look, I was involved, right? Obviously, a couple other people, schools are involved, but the one that worries me the most, not even close, NC State. They're the ones that worry me the most. Just because I know, unfortunately, if Will Wade wants him, he's going to get him. That's just the way it is, y'all. So this is a really good player. I'm super excited to see him on our list because I'd already been made aware of him like a day or so before we offered because of all these offers that were pouring in. And so I watched a couple highlights, but I thought, well, we'll never offer him. And then, boom, today we're in his top 6. So things move fast, and it's crazy because we had already offered him. Somehow I overlooked it. It's just hard to keep track of all these, y'all. I mean, look, I've overlooked several. That's why I've got, thankfully, Raven, who was in the chat, Dylan, who was in the chat, Shaq, who was usually in the chat. This guy, these guys all are doing a great job helping me out. For those of you saying that you realize he's not playing against Big 12 defenses, neither did Marquise Noel, and neither did, over 300 Division II players that transferred up last year to just Power 4 alone. So, it's Group of 5 and Power 4 combined. So, it's not football. This is not the same evaluation. So, people need to open your brain. Guys transfer up nowadays, and they do it well. So, if you can't watch that film and say that guy's a good player, then I don't know what else to tell you. And you're calling 75 other schools liars that are also offering him. So that's just the way it is, man. He's a good player. I'm stoked about him. Could he come up and lay an egg? Sure, anybody could, but I don't think this is going to be the case here. Let's go to break. I didn't expect it to take 10 minutes on just this guy here. We got another guy that we offered that has West Virginia in his top 5 as well. And he could be the better of the 2 players. He's actually playing Division I. We'll talk about it next. Stick around. This is Locked On West Virginia. This episode of Locked On West Virginia brought to you by Supply House. That's right. We talk about Supply House all the time around here because you need to get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Well, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. If you're a trade pro looking for an edge, try their free Trade Master program. It offers exclusive perks, and hey, you can get dedicated phone lines, free shipping, discounts on every order, etc. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code S-5, 5-S-H-5 for 5% off your first order. Do it today at supplyhouse.com. It's segment 2. Let's crack a little dew here. We deserve the dew. We deserve the dew today. It's a good day because I felt pretty good about the news that came down today. That's right. It's code red. Burp, burp, burp. Emergency. Okay, so we talked about this guy the other day on the show, Honor Huff, who is a Chattanooga transfer, nation's leader in three-point makes, 131 of those, which is over double what Jonathan Powell made. Is focusing on 5 schools per his agency. Weave, Iowa, St. John's, West Virginia, Vanderbilt, and Pitt. The NIT champion averaged 15.2 points per game, shooting nearly 42% from 3. A little crossover here with Iowa yet again, right? So we're going head-to-head with Iowa. But you know what? It's probably pretty smart to offer the same guy Ben McCollum's offering, right? And look, Jeff Capel, he knows guards, right? I mean, if there's one thing you can say about Pitt is they've had really good guards. And who else? St. John's, Rick Pitino. What about Mark Byington over at Vanderbilt? Do you think these are pretty good coaches? I do. So these are the top 5 for Honor Huff. It's going to be hard for me to say his name because I want to say Honor Huff, not Honor Huff. So it's almost like I just want to erase that H there. So he's a really good player as well, obviously. And if you haven't seen him play yet, he is very similar to Tucker DeVries in that there's just not much limit on his range. He can really stroke it, obviously, as the leader in three-point makes, 42% from 3, which is just 1% better than the guy we just watched. He is not as great a defensive player, in my opinion, but he is a good defensive player. And West Virginia would be super lucky to get him as well. Let's see if I can find anything on him here, media-wise. So I'm almost scared to watch these, but let's see. No, can't watch those. That's the NIT. That'll probably be on ESPN. So anyways, you guys can check him out on your own time. But man, is he a good player. And like as you can see there, pulling 3 from the logo. There's one from he has no limit to his range. He can really, really stroke it. And he does more than that. If you watch him, like it says here, the nation's leader in threes in 131. First team All-SoCon, averaged 15 points per game, 2.3 assists per game. And this is from the Hawkeye report. But anyways, he would probably be the splashier land. More people know about him. I'm not convinced that he's better than the guy we just watched. The guy we just watched can do everything, man. That's just my opinion. And I'll be happy with either. If we get both, I'll probably pass out because – in my opinion, that's a backcourt you can finish top 5 in the Big 12 with. I believe that. If you had Huff and Wes on the same team, I would be very, very excited about where this is going. You've got a guy in Lorient who's an excellent defender. You've got a guy in Obioa who is an excellent defender. You've got Honor Huff, who is an excellent scorer. You've got Wes, who is an excellent scorer, defensive player of the year. What an incredible start that would be. And we could really start to get excited about the future of this basketball team with those 4 guys on board. Now, do I think it's going to happen? No, I think I'd be pretty shocked if both landed in West Virginia. But man, it's fun. Like, that's why I do these shows, because it gives us a chance to kind of what if a little bit and have fun with those. I mean, they're kind of, some of them are fantasies a little bit. Restart the live. Sorry. So, we'll see where these go. Like I said, I've been in contact with agents. West Virginia is making very competitive offers. I actually had to hurry up and get rid of my messages because one of them was on the screen before I brought you guys over to X. So, because I don't want to let that get out, because then you would know whose agent it is. But, yeah, so I'm excited about, like I said multiple times, I'm excited about it. Is like when I'm trying to think of what to say next. Sometimes I just notice that. But we'll see where that goes, and I'll keep track of it. Like I said, we'll go live as soon as either one decide to or not to transfer to West Virginia. Hopefully the one guy doesn't go to Pitt. Good Lord. That would be just the ultimate slap in the face. I'm assuming, I would assume that if Will Wade really wants a guy, he's going to get him, right? Because what I was told about Will Wade from somebody that knows him well, and you could probably put 2 and 2 together there if you know anything about our team from this past year or anything. But I had a guy tell me that Will Wade has his own bankroll. He's got his own. It's kind of like Bob Huggins, how like there are certain donors that aren't even involved at West Virginia anymore because Hugs isn't the coach. Same thing with him. He's got guys that just wherever he's coaching at, they support him. And that's what's going on here. They just want him to succeed. So that's why he can go to NC State and be competitive, because not that they don't have good, I don't know if they have good or bad NIL, but I'm assuming it's probably like ours. It's like in the middle sometimes, or maybe a little bit under the middle. And at NC State, he can go there and actually be good. With rev share, though, everybody's got a chance, and that's what we're going to talk about next, guys. Rich Rod said it today. West Virginia has a chance to compete with the very best programs in America with the way things are, if they can get these bills passed. Let's talk about them after this break, guys. Stick around. All right, guys, as we head into segment 3 here. So if you don't know, West Virginia obviously is trending into the direction of rev share model, right? And everybody's got to kind of get on board with this. $20.5 million in rev share money. And so they're in court today, not only from West Virginia, but from Marshall too, to talk about the House bills that have been being talked about, which is House Bill 2576 and House Bill 2595, which is going to allow colleges and universities to establish a nonprofit entity that could enter into contracts with student athletes to compensate them through revenue sharing and NIL rights. You can also do other things, right? So what does it mean? Well, basically what's happening is these 2 bills are being pushed in West Virginia to let colleges like West Virginia and Marshall, they're able to create a nonprofit, right, to manage NIL deals and also share revenue. It would act like a middleman is the way I think of it, right? And they're going to handle contracts, they're going to handle distributing funds like the 20.5 million, and they're going to make sure there's transparency, because what has Ren Baker said about this? Clouded in obscurity. We don't know what the hell's going on with these collectives. So it's going to ensure there's transparency in how West Virginia players get paid for their name, image, and likeness. And why would you do nonprofit, I think, is a question a lot of people would ask, because not everybody's going that route. Texas, straight from the university to the player, no nonprofit, right? But if you go nonprofit, it keeps athletes from being classified as employees. So there's no taxes or labor law things to deal with from my research. So it separates this from pay to play schemes that a lot of teams will do. Now, maybe that makes you sad that West Virginia is not going to quote unquote cheat, but that's not what they're wanting to do. They want to go by the book and be as good as they can by the book. I think it'll all come out in the wash someday if West Virginia does this the right way and some others don't. I think they're trying to do it the right way here within reason. And so they're going to try to align with these NCAA rules, which, whatever you feel about that, giving schools more control here. And the transparency boost is real because some of these collectives are extremely shady, right? They have a car wash that gets a $4 million deal done for somebody, and that's it, right? And it's like, come on, dude. We know that you're not really giving him $4 million like somebody else is, and you're plastering your face on it. So this would be university run. It's a nonprofit. It would make the process open and legit, right? And schools can negotiate fairly to compensate deals with players. How could this vault West Virginia into the top of Power Four? I did a little pros on this, right? And then some cons. So it would give us a unique market advantage because West Virginia is, in my opinion, obviously, there's no other pro sports. Just like Rich Rod said, I'm kind of using Rich Rod's angle here. But, West Virginia, and even Rich Rod highlighted it, basically no pro sports, no NFL, no NBA. West Virginia is the show in West Virginia, and we can attest to that. So it gives West Virginia athletes basically unmatched attention. Their NIL potential could be higher compared to some states with big pro competition like Georgia, Ohio, even Pittsburgh. So big money, big recruits, right? With $20.5 million in rev share, we can offer serious cash, y'all. I mean, that's just a flat out fact. If we get to 20.5, which we should with the help of this, there's no reason we can't make competitive offers alongside Power Four giants like Michigan and Alabama. Now, are we going to win all the time? No, but we'll win more than we're winning now. I believe that. It gives us a little bit more of the national spotlight if we're able to actually pull some of this off, because success in athletics brings positive PR to West Virginia. Pat McAfee be talking about it every single week. And like he said, Rich Rod said it. He said a winning West Virginia team could shift how people see the state, right? And that boosts our profile, and it makes it a hotter recruiting destination over time. We can fix this thing, hopefully. It levels the playing field, right? Because unlike many schools relying on these unpredictable collectives that are shady in nature and don't always have the students or the athletes' best interest in mind, West Virginia has a more structured NIL system, which would give it an edge in promising consistent, reliable deals to recruits. Not, hey, we're pulling your deal because you had a heart issue, right? Like that actually happened. People learned from it, but we know it happened to West Virginia in the past with the Cook. And unfortunately, that was in a public black eye, and they fixed it. They did fix it, but that's something that you wouldn't be able to do in this day and age. So it benefits the players, guys. And that's what we want for the most part. Cons are, where's that 20 going to come? Where's that 20.5 going to come from? It can mean higher ticket prices. Donors could put pressure on to make cuts elsewhere. Maybe sports get cut out, which could upset fans or hurt our athletic department's balance, right? The recruiting arms race it's real. So I wrote here, like, every powerful seems to adopt systems that are similar, but West Virginia has a unique advantage here, right? But it could fade fast if everybody copies us, right? Texas, USC could definitely outspend us with deeper pockets using this nonprofit kind of deal. So, and then obviously fans that are more alongside of, hey, why aren't we doing it like everybody else? And the business of college sports could get in the way and tune it out, right? And it feel like too much like a pro model. Some people may not like that, especially if West Virginia prioritizes NIL stars over team chemistry, which I don't know if Rich Rod would ever do that, but it could happen, y'all. Let's not pretend like it couldn't happen. So there's a lot to worry about here. And I certainly think that West Virginia is in a good spot, but one of the last things I have written down here is risk management. Obviously, a new nonprofit does sound really good, but if it's poorly run, if there's a lot of bureaucracy involved, favoritism could be involved. You get the wrong person hired in. Like anything could go wrong with stuff like this, and it could spark drama, or even have legal consequences down the road where you're getting sued. Like you have to think of these things and have plans, which is why I like Rim Baker involved. So my overall theme here is this, and this is my quick wrap up on it. It's a game changer for West Virginia. You're jumping into NIL with a nonprofit twist to pay athletes fairly, and you're going to try to compete with the big boys here. It can make West Virginia a powerhouse by leveraging its solo spotlight in West Virginia and alongside some serious cash. It's not perfect. Obviously, there are some woes. There could be some fan grumbles. There could be some money that is going to be harder to get for us, and keeping up with the richer schools could trip us up along the way. Absolutely. But I think it's, at the end of the day, a positive thing for us, y'all. So let's support them. And look, we've got people in our corner. We've got Kendrick. We've got McAfee. We've got, as Raven said, Geno Smith. Maybe he got money now, don't he? And I think at the end of the day, we are lucky to be involved with a school and a program that's willing to do things the right way, whether you like it or not. Sometimes I wonder, would I, if West Virginia can win the national championship, would I be okay with us cheating and get caught later? Like I've asked myself that question before, and I don't even like to go there because the instant gratification of actually having a national championship is like, it's the ultimate drug for a West Virginia fan, I think. And so I think at the end of the day, we either do it the right way or we don't. And we just have to be proud of that, because if we start cheating like to the level some of these other places are right now, and there are places that are really bad. I was talking to one of them agents earlier. I was asking them about that, and a lot of the cheating is it's not even happening at the university. It's happening on the donor level. Like, let's say you're worth $100 million, and you see a player on the NIL market, and you find out, like me, like I do for this show, I could find out who his agent is. I could call him and say, "Hey, look, dude, I'm not affiliated with this university, so there's really nothing they're doing wrong here, but I think he would be a great fit. I'll mention it to so-and-so and let Coach Saban know, or Coach Rod know, that I'm willing to pay the buck for this guy if they want to bring him in, right? And I'm that big of a fan," or whatever. This happens every single day. You've got Dan Snyder super fans, Jerry Jones type dudes that consistently see other teams' players and try to play Monopoly with them and control the pieces on the board. So a nonprofit, basically, if you could get more people to adopt that system, it'll be a cleaner, more regulated system. And I know I'm not all big. I'm more of a small government type guy. So I don't want more regulations on things. But in this case, I think you need some regulations, because it's the Wild West, and we need to get rid of that. If you're West Virginia, if you're Alabama, I think you agree, because look at the national championship game now. When things were more recruiting based, you were dominating. But at least we felt like we had a chance, right, at West Virginia then. All you needed was the right coach like Rich Rod to come in. That's what we needed, right? We needed somebody like him to come in, not Neil Brown, obviously. Even Dana got us to the close a couple times. At least we were ranked towards the top 10 once or twice. Like we felt like we had a team that could possibly win this. When have we had that again? When are we going to get it again? I would kill for it to happen again. So, and I know you guys are like that too. So let's put our all into it. I think this is going to be an interesting thing to follow for sure, because I don't know how it's going to work at the end of the day as far as the university goes. But I'll say this: I trust as long as we have the right people involved, which is Rich Rod and Rim Baker. I think both those guys care to some extent, especially Rich Rod, what happens with West Virginia. It's very similar if Bob Huggins was involved with this, it makes you feel a lot better because at the end of the day, we ain't getting screwed. At the end of the day, Bob Huggins ain't letting us get screwed. Same thing with Rich Rod, I feel like. Even though he hurt us in the past, I feel like this is his last bastion. And I feel like he knows that. And I think that he is going to do whatever it takes to put himself in a position to make up for the hurt that he caused and go out a bigger king than he ever was in the first place. Guys, if you're new to Locked On West Virginia, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Please hit the like button since we have 300-400 people in here. I would appreciate that. Share the video out if you can. Click that share button. Copy and paste the URL wherever you can. It's Facebook, over on X, Instagram, somewhere. I don't care. Like I said, man, let's have fun. Let's enjoy West Virginia athletics. I don't have to cover West Virginia. I get to cover West Virginia. I stay grateful for that. I stay grateful for you guys. Even though some of you roll your eyes with me sometimes because of me and my some of my pro recovery talk that I have, because it's like my base of knowledge. It's how I fixed myself, at least what the bad part of myself that was really wrong. And so I guess sometimes I lean into that line of thinking a bit too much. But you know what? I love you guys. Appreciate you. We'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow. Hopefully West Virginia can get some visits. That's what we're trying, from what I'm told, by the way, with the agents, West Virginia, they're trying to line up visits for these players, Huff especially, and Wes, what was his name? I forget his last name. Ennis or whatever it is. Wes Ennis, I think it is, from the D2 kid. So it's going to be fun. I think West Virginia, if we can get them on campus and meet Ross Hodge, we got a shot to land anybody. All right, guys, I will see you on the next one. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you, Raven. Thank you, Shaq. Thank you, those in the chat. Dylan, those of you who've been helping keep track of things today. And thanks for being patient with me as I was actually dealing with some things today, so I didn't get to go live a little bit later than usual, but it's fine. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great, great evening. I'm out.